let's take a look for the first week of May, Nicholas. May 6th, 2026, from Marvel Comics. Marvel's having a week, my friend. Marvel
Yep.
had a hell of a week, which is tough because we get the review copies in late. So I had pretty much the only books I had to read today was an Oni book, which we'll get to, and then all of these Marvel books.
Sure. Yeah. No,
so
I get it. Yeah.
so we had Daredevil issue 2, the second issue from Stephanie Phillips, and I gotta say, like, yeah, yeah, she might know what she's doing, Nicholas.
Oh yeah, dude. Oh my gosh, I've been blown
Yeah,
away. It
yeah,
was like you said. There's a lot of good books out this week for Marvel. That was a really tough one to not talk about because like the ending will be what everybody's talking about afterwards, but the meat of this issue is so high quality.
Who's the artist? Is it Lee Gerbet, the
Yes.
artist?
Yes.
Fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, there were some panels in here. I was just like, that's sick.
Yep.
That is sick. But so Daredevil issue 2, the Amazing Spider-Man issue 20. I believe that's the Kevin Youkilis issue,
Yep.
right? X-Men issue 29, Fantastic Four issue 10. Another book we could have talked about, Cyclops or Cyclops issue
Dude,
4.
oh my
Oh
gosh.
man,
I'm so in on this. It's insane. Like we were already in on it, and they're just like, I'm like, I cannot believe I ever felt differently about Cyclops at this point.
I know, and I'm so bummed that it's ending next issue. Right, that's a bummer.
They gotta find a way, Marvel. You gotta find a way to
Come on.
get it going.
Come on. There's so much more to tell here. So much more to tell. And then we have Wade Wilson Deadpool issue 4, which was another phenomenal issue. Jesus Christ. All new Spider-Gwen, Go Spider issue 10. Storm, Earth's Mightiest Mutant, issue 4. Godzilla, Infinity Roar issue 4. A book that you read, Nicholas, that I did not, Captain Marvel, Dark Past, issue 2. And then we have Alien, King Killer, issue 2. And then before we dive into the book that you want to discuss, Marvel, it was weird. Marvel had a bunch of first issues out this week, but a bunch of them were one-shots. See, Civil War Unmasked issue 1 dropped this week from Christos Gage and Edgar Salazar. We had the astonishing Miles Morales Spider-Man. There are of Thwip issue 1. I probably wrote that down wrong because that sounds wrong. Written by Cody Ziegler with art by Alessandro Miracolo. But there was 2 number ones, and these I say number ones. These were one shots.
Yeah.
And which I wasn't expecting, because it doesn't indicate that in the synopsis of either one, and both are written by tremendous writers. I'll let me discuss this first one real quick, because these aren't books that we highlighted, but I think books that are worth mentioning for a moment.
Yeah.
And this one I think is going to blow a lot of people away. I love Jubilee in the sense that, like, I love making fun of Jubilee. I just think like she's just one of those characters, because I remember as a kid, like, who the hell? She had sparklers for fingers, right? And so it was always just like a joke. But like, she was brightly colored. It was like quintessential '90s, right? And but then, over the years, especially with Gail Simone's Uncanny X-Men and the X-Men series in general, like Jubilee's just become like. It's just become a much more like enjoyable character read and whatnot. So I see Jubilee, Deadly Reunion, issue 1, written by Jean Luen Yang, with art by Michael. I don't know how to pronounce this last name. I apologize.
I think it's YG.
Just YG.
I mean, it's capital Y, capital G. I think that's a fair assumption on our part.
Yeah, right. So
sorry, either way, Michael.
Yeah, I apologize. It's not done sarcastically or on purpose. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to read it. I'm going to give it a go. And Deadly Reunion, jubilationally, always puts her life on the line for those in need, but for family, she'll do anything. When the cousin she never knew is in sudden need of help, Jubilee tracks him down to save him. But Jubilee may find that her familial bonds aren't as strong as she had hoped. What secrets does her cousin hold, and what dangerous mutant powers does he wield?
Ooh.
I'm going to tell you, Nicholas, I read this, and I'm like, I can't wait for the next issue. And then it says, the end. And then like to be continued in Uncanny X-Men issue 29. Oh, you son of a!
Okay.
This was a really good story. And Michael YG's art was tremendous, and Jubilee was just sort of this like, it was great. It was everything about it. There's something I want to say, but I'll spoil it, so I won't.
Okay,
But
I want to check this out now. I this one was off my radar, and this sounds great. And it sucks that it's only going to be continued in Uncanny. Like, obviously, Gail does a great job over there, so we're good. And I'm just happy that we're getting more, at least. But I hear you, like, why is it just this? Why is it just one random insert?
Yeah, because you get introduced to her cousin, and then you find out about the cousin. You find out more, about her aunt, and then sort of what's going on. Like, because the story revolves around the cousin contacts Jubilee, or because he needs her help to find his mother, Jubilee's aunt. She's gone missing, and Jubilee's like, she's not missing. She's like, she does this all the time, kind of. And then so when that all unfolds, he's like, what? And then I was pleasantly surprised. I wish this was at least a miniseries.
Yeah.
Because there's meat on the bone there for this.
Fascinating.
And I was really bummed out about that.
Yeah. And then another
Jubilee.
one, too. Yeah. Like, who would have thought? And another number one, again, that is a one-shot, which he talked to us about how fond he is of the Andor show. But I don't think Benjamin Percy told us he was writing a one-shot for Cassian Andor with art by Luke Ross. But the second we, like, you I think caught this before I did, and we both ended up reading it. But like when I saw the cover, and then it was like there was Ben. It's like everything about this. That main cover is excellent, and
Excellent.
Ben did an outstanding job writing this. But again, didn't know it was a one shot till the final page, and then it was like end, and I was like, wait, what the fuck do you mean end? Like, this is like there's more here. What are you talking about? Oh, come on, man. It was great, and the action was outstanding, too. Oh, killed me.
Well, it sounds like this was like the moments of Cassian Andor right before Rogue One starts.
Yes.
Right? So it's like, okay, you still could have given us more there.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
You could have led into that a little bit more, right? You could have even given us like issue 4 been, you literally could have had the last several pages or panels of that issue be the beginning of Rogue One. Like,
yes. Yep. I feel like there was at least 2 more issues in this if you wanted to. It could have been a full-fledged miniseries, I'm sure. But like if you're like, we're not going to go full-fledged 6 issues or whatever. 3 issues. The way Ben and Ben did a great job. Like I left this wanting more. We're supposed to get a Jyn Erso one shot. Very excited about that. Because I feel like we've gotten so much of Cassian's past, which is outstanding. I'm not saying we necessarily should get that for everybody else from Rogue One. At some point, I feel like there's a level to which I'd love that, but there's also a level to which it's like, are we forcing it a little bit too much? Like, it's a little bit of an unnecessary risk. All these things, but Jyn does like. She's a character who definitely has a ton more story left in her.
Yeah, because there's a big gap from the beginning of Rogue One to then when we see her. Right?
Massive.
So you fill that in through comic books. It's not like they haven't done that with Darth Vader and
Dude,
all the other books, right?
I would love that. I know the other Baze and Chirrut, the Jedi Temple guys, they had a series, I think a limited series a few years back. I haven't checked that out. I don't know if they gave Jyn one too, but yeah, I'm curious. I would love to see that in comic book form. I'd be all in on that, 100%, no questions asked.
100%. But so bummed out that they're only one shots. Even if they gave us a double size, that would
have worked. Yep, I would have been okay with a double size. Yeah, I think that could have absolutely been sufficient in the end. Real quick before I talk about the book in detail that I wanted to break down, I do want to say Captain Marvel Dark Past. Issue 1, I really liked and I was surprised by that. Issue 2 was interesting, not quite as good. I plan to read the 3rd issue still before I make a final decision, but it just wasn't on that same level for me necessarily. But the book that I wanted to break down in full detail this week is Mark Spector, Moon Knight, issue 4. And I talked about it, I think, after the 1st issue. And again, as we've both kind of expressed, so many awesome Marvel books. I mean, we're forcing ourselves to talk about some of these one-shots even. That's how good everything is. But the reason I needed to talk about Mark Spector, Moon Knight, issue 4, Jed MacKay obviously continues to do a really good job of Moon Knight. I'll get to that in a second. But Dev Pramanik, the artist on this, visually stunning issue. Like, This is my favorite stuff, that favorite art that we've gotten post Alessandro Capuccio, and we still had Rachelle Rosenberg on colors, which makes a huge difference. Her colors are outstanding. She is moving towards like the top of my list when it comes to colorists. I feel like we talk about a few different people. We've talked about Tamara Bonvillain a lot. We've talked about Jordi Belair a lot. There's a couple other people, but Rachelle Rosenberg is definitely in that conversation for me. And I only primarily know her from Moon Knight, and I believe she's done quite a bit of stuff on the Ultimate Wolverine. But that her art, her colors are standing out massively, and Promenix, like his art style in this too. It was between the two of them. It was like the perfect mix of intensity and trippiness, and I think that's honestly kind of Moon Knight in a nutshell. And with under McKay's watch, we've seen Moon Knight in a few different veins, and he's done a great job every step of the way. I would say by and large, this version of Moon Knight has been calmer, confident, to a degree, a little bit more patient, throughout the majority of McKay's run. Right now, he is very much on edge, and he is turning back into that like angry force of nature in this arc that we've seen, in years past. And this issue was like going into this next issue. It's like full bolt, like he is ready. He's ready to lots of bodies. Like he is going after some people now. And I'm very much here for it, and I just can't express enough. Like I finally have done a full breakdown of McKay's run, but this arc we're not all the way through, but this is feeling like this might be some of his best work, and he's done a lot of really good stuff.
Damn. Yeah, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. All right. What do we have from DC Comics?
All right, so from DC, this week we got Batman issue 9, Absolute Green Lantern issue 14, which I think I'm going to catch up on this week. This is one that we've both fallen behind on. Batgirl issue 19, Poison Ivy issue 44, Justice Society of America issue 19, Batman Static Beyond issue 6, Adventures of Superman Book of L issue 8, DC Sonic the Hedgehog The Metal Legion issue 1, which is written by Ian Flynn with art by Adam Bryce Thomas, and Tales of the Green Lantern Corps Guy Gardner issue 1, which is written by Jerry Duggan with art by Matteo Lolli. But that is none of those are the books that we want to break down this week. There is an issue 19 that I know you want to dig into, understandably too.
This is becoming one of my favorite books, one of my favorite series. Like just period, not just in the Absolute Universe, just period. Did you read it yet? Did you read this book yet?
Oh, it was, talk about visually stunning. My gosh.
Yeah.
I love the way that this character, King Shazam, has been integrated. He is so cool.
Yeah. The Absolute Superman issue 19, written by Jason Aaron with art by Rafa Sandoval. Just Absolute Superman could come out every week, and I think I would highlight to talk about it every week.
Wow.
And what I'm really loving about it now is that like the first second volume, right? It was really just entry level, right? And I say that in the sense of like it's really like the world felt very small in the sense that it was really just centered around Cal sort of discovering who he is, what he is, and you had Lazarus, and then Lois starts to get more involved, but it was like really just that sort of tight knit, great storytelling, but that was the world we were in. And then it starts to branch out. You've got Ra's al Ghul, and then you've got Brainiac expanding that universe, right? And now what we've got is what I really feel like now is a full blown Superman universe. And every issue I feel just gives us more and more and more, and what we get in this issue, and the character that makes their sort of, their debut. And as you mentioned with King Shazam, who made their debut last issue, right? Like now it's like Jason Aaron is like, he's got the full sandbox now to play with, right? He's built the world, and he did an excellent job at that. And his take on Krypton and everything else was so good. And now everything's just exploding, and it is so good, Nicholas.
I think at this point, we don't do these kind of special episodes a whole heck of a lot, but maybe, we have, different travels and things coming up over the summer and, maybe in the fall and stuff like that too. I think an idea that we should like get in the can it's at some point when we're away, because we always make sure we have something for our listeners every single week, no matter if we're on vacation or not. I think like ranking the absolute universe characters, like making a list of 10, like I think that would be a lot of fun. Like that I think that needs to be done, because King Shazam is one who, I know it's only 2 issues in, but I'm like, dude, this motherfucker's cool. Like, I don't I've never cared a whole heck of a lot about Black Adam, and Shazam, I mean, the first movie, obviously, everybody enjoyed, but other than that, it's like, yeah, okay, he's had some bright spots here and there in the comics, but he's never really done a whole heck of a lot for me. This reimagining makes total sense, and is fascinating, and is epic. Everything. This whole issue was epic from start to finish, dude. But we've talked about it in a lot of ways, like, the reimagining of characters in the Absolute Universe, I think is its greatest strength across the board. And I think with Absolute Batman and with Absolute Superman, those are the two where they've done it with so many characters. Absolute Wonder Woman has done it with a few different characters, but these two have done it massively.
Well, and the character that we get introduced to in this issue, and their reimagining, and the brilliant thing about it was how Jason Aaron sort of tied it back to the start of the Absolute, Superman, right? And it's just a couple lines of dialogue, and you go, oh, right. This is where all that nonsense really got its start from, right? It is so layered. The storytelling it's just been so good, right? Like, this is just
I felt that dude's pain, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, god damn.
Yeah, felt a little too real. Yeah, but another interesting character, and this is just, again, another great issue. It's just it's truly remarkable what they've done in the Absolute Universe.
Yeah. All right, from Image and Skybound, we have The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 136. This is funny. We've been talking about this, right, the last couple of episodes where it's like, Image is like, they've had really light weeks. And they come up with a massive, massive week. So this is one of those lighter weeks, but like last week was a massive week. I think the next week we're getting is another massive week. I think for the rest of the month, Image is going to be pretty bumping. But this week from Image, pretty light. We have The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 136, Ghost Machine, the official guidebook issue 2, which I think is an issue from all the different series in that universe there.
Smart.
We have Royals issue 2, which you loved the first issue.
Dude, this one got, it was really good, second issue.
Good did I give you dibs, or did you say nah? And I'm going to go back and reread it. I'm not sure if you called.
I'm taking them now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. So a couple of number ones. We have Energon Universe 2026 Special Issue 1. This is Kirkman, Waters, and Williamson, with art by Simon Parr, Connor Hughes, Jason Howard, and Tom Riley. And this is essentially sort of like one of those, like, hey, read this, see if you like it. If you do, you're gonna want to jump on all these series. So it's got new stories from Transformers, of course, written by Kirkman, G.I. Joe, Dan Waters, or Williamson, Void Rivals, right? So those are all books written by the current writers of Void Rivals, Transformers, and G.I. Joe are all writing, and so that if you're new to the Energon universe, that's one worth picking up, because it might spark you to go check out those series. But then there's 2 number ones. We have She Spawn issue 1.
Yep.
And this is written by Gail Simone and Guara, and we didn't get a review copy for this, correct?
Correct, we did not. Otherwise, I would be looking to talk about this for sure. I liked it.
Yeah. So synopsis: a former soldier, assassin, superhero, and mother, Priest now finds herself pulled into a brutal confrontation with an angelic cult determined to sacrifice a child in the name of their god. What becomes as a mission quickly becomes something far more personal, forcing Jessica to confront the regret and responsibility that have followed her long after she stepped into the role of She Spawn.
I'm
Um,
excited for this.
yeah, it's Gail Simone. She's gonna fucking kill it.
Yep, 100%. I've very much been looking forward to this. But the book that we've been looking forward to the most, I think, for everybody to sink their teeth into is something that we got to look at a little while back when we had one of the two writers on the show, and that is If Destruction Be Our Lot, issue 1, written by Matthew Rosenberg and his brother, Mark Elijah Rosenberg. Of course, we had the former of the two on the show previously, and the artist on this is Andy McDonald. Now, I know you are you who want just more Breakfast Robot. That is all you care about.
All the Breakfast Robot. Give me more. I want hash browns from Breakfast Robot.
100%. And I don't blame you for that. And there's plenty more of that in our interview that we did with Matthew Rosenberg. But the thing that I wanted to highlight, because it's been a little bit since we last talked about it, but obviously this is a sci-fi commentary on where technology is going today, where it is now, and this is just a world of robots. That's it. You have some that look kind of like humans, but at one point Matt told us, like, we're going to be dealing with robots designed by robots, and then robots designed by the secondary robots and everything. It's just like, when I heard that, I was just like, oh my God, that sounds painful. I love that concept, but it sounds painful as hell. But what really hit me when I was reading this and when we were talking to Matt, I asked this question, but I was like, I had doubt of, like, am I making this up myself? Am I bringing too much of myself into my reading experience? But like, even though there's a bunch of robots, the story is all robots, there's an incredibly human aspect to this, and it's the lack of connection that is among these characters. And as I was reading this, like, wow, is this intentional, or is this just me, like, taking everything that's going on, it feels like, in the world? And then we asked Matt, I was like, no, that's definitely part of it. Which he, like, mission accomplished. He did a great job with that. But If Destruction Be Our Lot, issue 1, a book that we've talked about extensively already, but it's out this week, so you guys can finally get your hands on it.
Yeah, it is so good, man. It was a lot of fun talking with Matthew about this, and I think people are gonna dig this book big time.
I think people were more excited, though, about the fact that you and him were both wearing Giants hats.
That did get some love. That did get some love.
Yes, people are excited about that. But that is it from Image, as you said. Light week from Image this week, and also a light week from Boom. But there's a book that they have out this week that we need to talk about. It is not Centerholds, but the Centerholds issue 3 is out this week. I remember saying I kind of liked the first issue. I have not gone back and read the second and third, in all honesty. But there is a number 1, and I guarantee I'll read number 2, number 3, and however many fucking issues of this book we have. What is it, Joe?
So this is a series that I think is one of my all-time favorite series. And I've had a little bit of gripes over the last arc, but be that as it may, that's going to happen. There's going to be ebbs and flows, and so I wasn't aware that this book was coming out this week. And then when I saw it on the docket, I said, "Okay, okay," because I remember at the time I wasn't the biggest fan of the House of Slaughter series initially. I found that to be something, for me, that was best read collected, and I enjoyed it
collected.
Yeah. And I enjoyed it much better that way, because it was a slower pace. It was a lot of great storytelling in there, but it month to month and with with time in between, it just read better altogether. But anyways, The Fall of the House of Slaughter, issue 1, written by James Tynion and Tate Bromble, with beautiful, beautiful art by Werther Dell'Edera and Adriano Tortolucci.
Nice.
I think a pretty
They
good
did
job.
a good job there, yeah.
This is, what I'll say is, it's very similar to House of Slaughter in the sense of it's not a lot of action, right? But for me, what I loved very so much was the game within the game.
Oh yeah.
The pulling of the strings, the politics. What we're seeing now is the inner workings of the House of Slaughter, and they're in the process of selecting a new dragon, right? This is sort of like a badass version of selecting the next pope, right? and And I just love how everything unfolded because we've been getting bits and pieces of this now, right, for a little bit. And I feel like this little, because I don't know how many issues this is going to be, right? But uh, I think what we're going to get in here is really going to explode the next arc of Something is Killing the Children. And so this is the type of stuff I find very intriguing. This is the part of Dune that I really liked that was completely cut out of the movie, right? And so if you read the novel, there's a lot of this, and it's very Games of Thrones like too. It's a chess game that's being played behind the scenes, right? And then everything else that at the forefront, like you know, Jessica, the Jessica Slaughters of the world, just pawns, right, in the greater scheme, and just how everything unfolds, the pacing of this, even though it wasn't in action packed, you're not dealing with monsters and things of that, but to me, I just loved all of the politicking that was going on in this issue, and the implications, and sort of, what is coming, like, what it's leading to, right, and how this is going to affect the Slaughterverse in general. So I was very pleasantly surprised to see this week, and it was the first book I read this week, and this book has got my juices flowing again, not all time high, but it's got it flowing again for the Slaughterverse, because it's like I said, Something is Killing the Children's been coming out like once every 2 months. And the story's just been kind of sort of spinning its wheels a little bit. This is now, I feel like, propelled everything. So I am as pumped as ever for what's coming next.
We're on the same page. I mean, as the political machinations take shape, just like one thing after another until you get to the very end. It was an outstanding first issue, and as you said, like, the breadcrumbs have kind of been there for this for a little while now. Just taking a quick look on League of Comic Geeks, there are only 3 solicited so far, and then I checked the bottom of the third issue, the synopsis. That is the penultimate issue, it looks like. And it looks like, according to League of Comic Geeks, we're going to get 1 issue per month of these. So issue 2 is solicited for June, then we have 1 solicited for July, and the 4th one's not solicited yet, and that's supposed to be the last one according to these write-ups, but that would mean it's on pace for August. But yeah, so it looks like it's going to be tight, and we're going to get it all at once.
Yeah, a lot of times League of Comic Book Geeks will only put like a few months advance, right? So that's not, I bet when the next issue comes out, the 4th one will be listed up there. So for all you Slaughterverse fans, like, this is, it's not like you weren't going to read it, but this is absolutely tremendous.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm similar to you. Like, when I saw this, I was like, I didn't see this get announced. Like, we must have missed. It must have been announced at C2E2 or something. I don't know. But I was like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Did not disappoint. Like, and that's the thing too with this one. It's like a Slaughterverse book every time comes with expectations. Mm-hmm. That's how good it's been. That's just the way it is. And when you're titling it Fall of the House of Slaughter, I'm sorry, like, I'm expecting a lot, and they delivered.
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
All right. We got no titles from Dark Horse we want to break down. Take us through this one, though. We got Star Wars Hyperspace Stories, The Bad Batch, Rogue Agents, issue 3. You're welcome for not making you read that. We also have
it up.
Carmen Red Claw, Belly of the Beast, issue 4, also a longer title. Then Mega Ghost, issue 2. And then the number one from them this week, which is by Brandon Huang and Bel Bessa, Avatar, The Last Airbender, The Kyoshi Warriors, issue 1.
All right, that one I understand, because you have to differentiate between the 2 Avatar series. So I won't bite your head off for that one, Doctor.
Very true. I think they have rights to both.
Yeah. We'll find a way. Tighten it up. From our good friends over at Mad Cave Studios, we have not a bunch of books, but bangers. Yep. Absolute banger. Speed Racer, issue 8. David Pepos, you've outdone yourself. He's even brought a little sauciness to this issue, right? Things get a little naughty.
Yep. Great action too. Great
Oh,
action.
great action, great villain. Just like
Yeah.
this episode feels 200 miles an hour. It was awesome.
It really does. That's a great
Yeah,
way to put it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Flash Gordon, issue 16, which is beginning a new arc. I think it's written by Dave Abnett. I haven't read that. It was like one of the very few books I didn't read this week, but I will go back and read that because I do love the Flash Gordon series. We have Astro Quantum, issue 4. And then a number 1, Nicholas. Did you read this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had to. Dog Tag, issue 1, Mark Russell, with art by P.J. Holden. I mean, there was someone on, it might have been YouTube or TikTok or Instagram. I can't remember what platform it was. Follow us on all of them. Subscribe. And it was, oh shit, who was the writer? What was the book? But the person was like, oh, such and such is
The book about the thing and the stuff. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, this person is on my list for must read writers.
Oh.
Shit, it's gonna drive me nuts now.
Oh, you talking about Kyle Starks?
Yes, Kyle Starks. Yeah, Kyle Starks is becoming one of those writers
That
for
was
me.
on Blue Sky.
Yeah, and Mark Russell is that for us, right?
Oh yeah.
And Dog Tag, issue 1, synopsis. Dog Tag is a fictional story about a very real war. It follows the life and thoughts of Corporal Tom Fuller through the final year of World War II as his service takes him from the invasion of Normandy to the surrender of Japan. Borrowed from real-world stories and little-known events of the war, Dog Tag asks big questions about the war while focusing on the heroism of the ordinary people who lived and died during the conflict. Now, this was fantastic because you have a character that's being recruited and asked to do something that he finds a bit ethically odd, and it made me think of you because the soldier is a journalist.
Yeah.
So I was trying to read this from your perspective and your point of view, and like how would Nicholas J. Friar Esquire tackle this. And we know how great Mark Russell is at satire and, sort of, in social commentary. And this wasn't like satirical and it wasn't, really like heavy on the social commentary at all. This was just like, it asked a moral question and then, he brings some levity to it. He brings some great humor to it. And overall, I just thought this was such an excellent story and a great sort of perspective from World War II, and I loved everything about it.
Yeah, it was. I think doing World War II stories, especially like now, we've just gotten so many of them and so many good ones, and also while we still have a whole lot of conflict going on in the world, we are so very far removed from those events because it's been over 80 years since that war. Now we have gotten Rick Remender, who's doing his reimagining of some of that in why am I blanking on the name of that book right now? But the book with Daniel Cunha. And obviously that's been an outstanding story. This is also outstanding, like you said. To me, I really think this has the makings of a classic because you're giving us a fresh feel on World War II and taking an angle that I didn't think of, and as you said, like, was going to resonate with me. Like, this is a book that's set up to be something that I should like, and it delivers on that front and in that first issue. And I'm just like, man, this is tough. There are some real. That is a real challenge. That is a really weird spot to be put in, and I cannot wait to see like what other challenges this individual is going to have to face throughout the course of the story. So yeah, like you said. We saw Mark Russell. Like, we're gonna be checking that sucker out for sure. But man, I was still really blown away by this issue by him.
Escape is the book from Rick Remender.
Thank you.
Yep.
That was really bugging the fuck out of me.
Me too. But yeah, it was so good. And it's just one of those books where it's like we want to dive into it a little bit more, but you can't because the one thing that you have to mention will spoil the beginning of the book. And the whole premise of the issue in the series, but it was awesome, man. And it was, like I said, I was just trying to like, it's the first thing I thought of. I was like, would Nick Friar do this? I don't know. But on the same, in the same way, and then you take a look from the character's perspective. It's like, I'm a soldier. I have to do what my country is asking of me.
Yeah.
Right now, right? So
Mhm.
it was really well done. Really
Yeah,
well
it
done.
was. To put it simply, if you like Mark Russell's writing, you are going to like Dog Tag. There's
Yeah.
it's that simple. All right, from Oni this week, we got a couple books that we both like. Cruel Universe issue 10. We have neither of us have checked that one out, but you obviously love the Autumn Kingdom. We got the Wraithbound Queen issue 4 out this week, which is the final issue of that story. But the book that we both have been dying for the second issue of, that I think, is it safe to say for you, that is also your book of the week?
It's not only my book of the week. So far, it's my book of the year.
Yep, I cannot say that I disagree with this. That is Estuary issue 2, written by D.B. Andry and Tim Daniel, aka T.B. Dandry, with art by Manhouse. And let's just start with fucking Manhouse. Those first few pages are absolutely insane. I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, after where things left off, I'm like, wait, what the fuck happened? What's going on? What is this? And like, it was so good. And then as like the story evolves from there, it's like, wow, okay, it makes sense, but I'm still kind of like, what the fuck? And like, still thinking about those pages, like they are so like, Manhouse is amazing. His art's so good. We both had sky high expectations after this first issue. We both really enjoyed it. Obviously, we like Tim and Deevy's work in general, but we get this first issue. It's awesome. We get this one, and it's even better. And what they did that was, I think, as much as Manhouse's art was just amazing in this issue once again, I think my favorite part of this was Tim and DB had like, they gave us reason to be suspicious about a few different things in the first issue. They did a marvelous job with that. Then they take those suspicions, address them in some capacity in this issue, but then create more questions. There's nothing I think I love more as a reader than like getting questions and then having them answered by that, and then having those answers create more questions. And that's exactly what they did in the second issue of Estuary.
It's this Estuary, a ghost story, right?
True.
And that is, I think, you're never allowed to lose sight that a ghost story is in the title, especially in those first few pages by Madhouse, right? And it's not just those first few panels, that first page, but it's throughout the entire issue where you just get these very haunting. The imagery in this issue is haunting and really keeps you on edge the entire time you're reading it. Right, like I was on edge the entire time I'm reading it, and it is just so well done. There's like you said, there's certain reveals, which are in their own right like jaw dropping, but then at the same time it's just like, well, that just gives me 10 more questions, right? As you said, and so that really helps propel the story, into the next issue, and like there's a couple. There's one character in particular. I'm like, I now have questions about this character.
Yeah, I think I know exactly who you're talking about.
And so you're just like, God damn, it's just so good. And then I was trying to remember back to our chat with Tim and DB, and then there's about a page of panels, and I go, oh, Tim wrote those panels.
Yes,
you naughty little minx.
Yep, 100%. I remember that.
Because I remember DB going, yeah, no, that's all Tim.
Yep, 100%. Good call. Good fucking call. But yeah, Estuary, don't sleep on this title. It is, and I don't think people are, because I'm pretty sure the first issue sold out. So definitely make sure that you're making some moves on the second issue if you got that first issue as well. All right, I'm going to take us through these other ones, Joe, before we can actually dig into the rest of the solicit. We've gone a little long this go around, which I don't mind. From IDW, we got Godzilla issue 10, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Journeys issue 9, and then we also got Sleepy Hollow, The Witches of the Western Wood issue 1, written by Delia S. Dawson and drawn by Jose Yarro. Yarro. We do Soft J. So, yeah, we're Soft J show. And then from, not Big J.
every time I watch Shadow of Maul and they say Janix, I'm always in my head going, it's Yanix.
That's amazing. I mean, Ben said, "Yeah, Yachnik." So
Yeah.
From Titan, we got the Savage Sword of Conan issue 14 and Star Wars Insider issue 237, along with Blade Runner Tokyo Nexus. To Lose is to Win, issue 1 by Nancy A. Collins and Mariano Taibo. From Vault, we got Excommunicated, issue 1. We don't get review copies from Vault, but this is one that I am interested in. I know you looked at this and said, this is a Nick Friar book. Jeremy Robinson is the writer, and Tiago Palma is the artist on this one. This is one where we got a nun and a demon, and they're going to have to work together because they've both been excommunicated from their respective places, realms, however you want to look at it. So yes, I am interested in that. And then from Dynamite, we got Dynamite Dispatches issue 11, The Muppets Noir issue 3, which so good. And by the way, I don't know if he's told you this, but Keith is going to be checking this out, I think, at some point because
he was at Chime's wedding, and we were talking about this book a ton, and so we're sitting at the same table, and I said, "Okay, I shared it with you. Get cracking on it because it's right up your alley." It's so good, and this issue, like, finally.
Kermit. Finally.
It is one of the most fun you're gonna have reading a comic.
Yep. And then we got Red Sonja, She-Devil with a Sword, issue 1, which is by Rory McConville and Pablo DeBonis. And then we got Ben 10, issue 1 by Joe Casey and Robert Carey.